Hello everyone, my name is Webweaver. It's back to Who It Is. And by that I mean, are you looking at who it is? I didn't think so. You need to get better at it's look at who it is, right? I mean, who it is right there. All you need is the eyes to see. I'm not gonna lie, I saw the OB, and then I was like, Obama Soda! I don't know why that lives rent-free in my head, but it just does. What can I say? It's good. It's good. So I said we would play Kana this week. And so I guess we're playing Kana this week. It's true. It's look who it is. It's Kana. So how do Kana runs normally go? You get something that affects your max health, and then you win the game. Now, I am going to try to not do that. Now, the game could just decide to... I'm gonna do all perks, because Kana only has neutral perks. I don't want to deal with that. You know what? Now, let's do generic perks on Kana, so we've only got neutral, because it does have a fun little... You know what? Let's do Fatalist, too. Let's do Fatalist Kana with generic perks. Now... I don't know. We can do, like... I feel like when we did the life coach video, it was like we got 4 out-of-town mysteries, right? So I think it's time for another Yoga Egg run. So, how do you not cheese the game as Kana? Because it's very easy to cheese the game as Kana. You just have to exist. So we're going to try to not cheese the game as Kana. We're going to try to play this properly. Quote-unquote properly. I don't think that you can do that. Like, I don't think that's a thing that you can do, but we're gonna try to do that, if that makes sense. So, Kana's best stats. Strength and Charisma, basically. I mean, Charisma and Dexterity are the same, but you don't really want to level Dexterity. I mean, the best dodge action in the game doesn't scale, it's camera. So... Well, I suppose that's relative, right? Because if you have a very... fast build, then dodge might be faster than camera flash, but I think camera flash is a key. Happiest Lemon, by the way. Happiest Lemon. Me and Lemon Energy Rutsu. ZZ. Honk. Local brand. Local brand. Local brand? You haven't seen this brand before. Lemon energy drink outfit called Happiest Lemon. Guys, do you think Kana's seen this one before? I don't know. I don't know, guys. Guys, is this real? Update on funny sleeper agent game. I am on Kanto 6, and I'm almost done with it. I have to do the few more missions in the dungeon. Right, so it doesn't matter. The order doesn't matter anyways. You're so true, bestie. You're so true. Abnormal arms? Alright. You know what? Sure. Life coach says that this is a low threat level location that's not being currently doomed. That's okay. You know what? Same thing with the apartment. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. That's alright. We'll run away. We'll run away if we get into a nasty piece of combat in the apartment complex, especially because like there's a lot of apartment complex enemies that you wouldn't want to fight right off the bat. So now if we really do just have smooth sailing like this until the boss, we have some issues. Okay, there we go. Smooth sailing is over now. So let's get some sort of weapon. I mean, Blood Frenzy is not a bad thing. Panic is a disastrous thing. But let's go ahead and buy something. What do we want to buy? Carpenter Hammer is fast, but the speed sucks. Monkey Wrench is also fast, but the speed is like... I don't know, why did I say the speed sucks? The speed's like the best part about the Carpenter Hammer. The accuracy sucks. The accuracy sucks on both of these, but one of these does 5 damage and the other does 4, and it's only 5 time units faster, so I think we gotta... And it's only 3 time units slower by the strength debuff, so... I think you gotta roll up to the club with that one. You gotta roll up to the club with something that can do some clubbing. And then I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of this, but we can, What is Kana's prep item? You know what? I'm curious. What's Kana's prep? It should just be a random item, right? I'm not gonna do it until, we get blocked by Yogathag, but... I mean, I guess we just go in here. I really do want to get the camera, though. That's the thing that sucks. Is, like, I would like to get the camera, because I think the camera's gonna be pretty important. Because Kana can gamble with the camera probably harder than any other character can. And so we're kind of stuck at, you know what? Let's go get an item as well. So what did we got? The wooden bat. So it is just a random item, and I'm not really happy with all that doom that I had to opt into, but... and there's no camera. We have to buy the compass. I mean, banger song, but, like, what do you want from me? You do hate to see it. Listen, I said that we would run away if we got into trouble, and I think this certified counts as trouble. Give me some stamina back, and then get me the hell out of here, dude. You kind of want to keep your... Thank God for that. You kind of want to keep your health balanced, I think. I actually don't know, because, so for those of you who don't know, the gimmick of Kana is that Kana cannot die, right? Kana cannot die to stamina or sanity loss. Kana has an ability called Always There, and whenever your health gets lowered to 0, you regain all of that health. So let's say we take 7 stamina damage randomly, right? We go down to 0, it goes back up to 8, but we get like a little bit of doom. So Kana can play a little bit more aggressively than all the other characters can. And we're gonna need Kana to play more aggressively than the other characters, because this kind of sucks. But what if we went to the schoolyard and we recruited some plus stat allies, perhaps? +1 dexterity, -1 strength. Get the flip out of here. +1 charisma. Do I re-roll for even more? Because the thing is, +1 charisma and +1 dexterity only do stuff for me if we make stat checks, and also if the lighthouse has those things and I increase those stats, which is kind of probably not going to happen. But to re-roll, I mean, it's 2 doom for potentially a stat that we care about. I think that that's worth it. +1... Sure, whatever. Alright, I don't have to level up charisma anymore. So he spent, like, 4 doom, essentially. Yeah, let's put this on the mansion, and then go gambling, I guess. We took a lot of doom, kind of setting this run up, and I really, really wish we had the camera. But, I mean, I think it's now it's time to play aggressively as Kana, I think. We have our run set up, and I think it's time to go as aggressive as possible. Probably take the whatever amount of doom it is to die, and just kind of live with that. We don't really want to get into a fight against anything before the boss. And you'll notice that I'm trying to keep my sanity higher than my stamina, because we're gonna lose the stamina, you know what I mean? Like, that's just gonna happen. So what? This is like... I don't think the wooden bat is gonna do that much damage. Again, this is really where you would like the... This is really where you'd like the camera, because then that's actually, like, benefiting you in the long run. So if we die here, it's fine, but we didn't die here. So that's good. So now we have... I'm gonna throw the wooden bat, because I don't want to get my 9 lives yet, or whatever it's called, or, like, first life, or... I don't remember what it's called. The hospital is yoga-thagged right now, man. I think we gotta... You really do hate to see it. We could have gone to the monument, and the monument we can always pay the cost of the monument, but it's Cat's Curiosity, and then it tells you how many times you've died. But we were always going to proc Cat's Curiosity on this fight. And this is where the camera would go so crazy. It really would, because we would be scaling throughout the entire fight to make this more reliable. You know what I mean? Now, the good thing is that we don't actually have to kill him. We just have to do this. Because then we are at a point where, like, we just have to get him to 12. I had the handcuffs. You're going to jail. You know how cool it would be if there was, like, an alternate ending for a mystery where you took a human enemy down with handcuffs so they, like, showed up later or something? Like, they, like, broke out of jail? Because you, like, handcuff them. And then in this story, it's like you get questioned about why you're here because the cops show up. And you could have just, like, citizens arrested, like, apprehended the Kabuki killer, you know? Like, normally you kill the Kabuki killer, but what if you took him alive? What if you took any of the human enemies alive? You ever think about that? That could be really fun. That could be a really fun idea. I never have to care about charisma anymore. But, like, this is kind of... I think the thing is we're gonna get every single one of these as, like, a whatchamacallit. If we're good, if we get a lot of level ups, we're gonna get all of these perks, because Kana only has neutral perks, so I don't really care which ones we get, as long as I keep getting strength every single level up. Now, what I would really like to do is go to the monument and give them whatever they want, and we have to kind of try to... I think we only have to investigate the school once, so I'll take a high threat level school. It's not ideal, but it's fine. Now, we do have to investigate the... I mean, we have 6 dexterity, so you gotta give it a try. Now, we do, when we see quick thinking, I'll take quick thinking and a point of dexterity, because then it's, I just took outdoorsman, so gotta give it a go. It's dangerous here. Your stamina penalty has blah, blah, blah. Yo, we're making every single stat check imaginable. You ever think about that? We do have to go to the forest twice. Remember to do that, because Yalgathag's blocking the side quest. I would like to get rid of this, but I don't know if I can. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna get rid of it, chat. I hate to do it, but it's just, like, really bad, you know? I don't like seeing it there. I like having my 7 dexterity. I think you gotta go to the monument. You can take whatever you want, even if it's stamina. Because then we're, like, we're keeping the monument going. And then I can go to the forest now. It's really, really weird. But sure, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of strange because you're spending 2 doom to do this. Oh my god. The 2 blue options back to back. That's crazy. It's so weird that you can play with your death like that. Like, you can be like, okay, on a normal character I would die, but on Kana I can just use the monument as many times as I want, because unless you specifically get gated out because of money. I don't really want to... I'm thinking of the other worlds here, right? Like, obviously the Boreal Expanse sucks. The Bleeding Desert is great, because we could potentially get +1 knowledge, which would be goated. And then Folklore Studies would kick us up to 6. It's not, like, the best, though, you know? Because then we still have to put 2 level ups into knowledge, when we have to put at least 1 point into dexterity, and we want to put more points into strength. So I think it's not really that important. I think it's not really that important at all. I think we'll just take the curse. Curses are really bad, you know, so you have to kind of, like, emotionally... You have to weigh it. It's so weird, like, we're spending basically 2 Doom to re-roll Yalgathag and then keep the monument going, which is such a bizarre thing. I'll buy a spell. Sure, why not? I don't care. That's fine. Whatever. Kana got the eel brainworms. That's true. Everybody knows this. It's kind of weird, because if you're at max health of Kana, you're kind of like... not gaining value, right? You know what I mean? Because your health is a resource that you can spend to do risky plays. Like, we're over-capping on our health, and our health is just something that exists. You know what I mean? Like, it actually kind of sucks that we're at max health right now. It's such a weird thing. It's a really weird and strange thing. Honestly, I think you could probably... I thought it was a 7 or 8 Doom when you die, but it's actually just 5. Like, that is... You can play around that, like, really, really well, you know? Like, there's definitely things that you can do to... I don't care about the EXP. Please just don't let me fight any of these enemies, please. Like, I'm not even worried. Like, 5 Doom here would kind of suck, but it is what it is. It's better than dying. And I think because of that, you can kind of play hyper-aggressively. And that sort of, I think, increases your chances of winning. Because think of, like, when you have Book of Gore, right? Like, it's basically like if you had Book of Gore with, whatchamacallit. We're gonna die here, so I'm just gonna run away, because we die and then we have to resolve the fight with this enemy, so it's like, what do you want me to do, right? But, like, when you have Book of Gore, you can just keep clicking forward, and it's like, you don't have to worry about it at all. Because you're never at risk of dying, right? You're just at risk of dooming out, so you can kind of just fearlessly click forward and be like, yeah, it is what it is, you know? Now, getting into a fight here, I mean, we already knew that this guy was gonna be a son of a gun, right? And I think you gotta kill this dude. I do think you gotta kill this dude. But then you go up to 5 Doom. So I think this is one of those ones where you go gambling a lot, right? You go gambling a lot, and then you figure out what it is that you do here. You had all summer. You did have all summer to figure out how to dodge Kana, so I hope you do lock the F in. 267% chances or 150% chance? I think I gotta go with the 50. Puts him down to 10, he heals up to 11, we can kill him next turn, right? Basically. Yeah, I think you gotta do something like this. Chat. It's not, like, the best, but... I mean, apparently... You're kind of goated with it. Holy, we didn't even die. Now we will die, 100%. But the thing is, now we're actually gaining something from healing. We're preventing 5% Doom from happening, which is kind of pog, you know? Kind of goes hard. Now, I'm looking at this shit, and I'm like, I don't really know. Like, I kind of want to take +1 strength, but... I kind of feel like we need to prioritize survival right now. But increasing our stats does increase our likelihood of surviving and not proccing, whatchamacallit again. So it's very odd. It's a very, It is a very odd situation. I mean, you gotta put it on the school. You really do. Not having the handcuffs sucks, but, like, it is what it is, I suppose. Pick up that book. I mean, Toma Rot's very funny. Now, how do you want to do this? Honestly, rest, because that's 3% Doom to stave off 5% Doom. Now, if you end up getting the Curious Cat before Akamanto, you basically threw by resting. And now it's time to go gambling again, I think. It is very... And see, this is why the camera would be so much better, because on Kana, you do want to take aggressive plays like this. Like, really aggressive plays like this. Like, really aggressive plays like this with Kana. We are pushing our luck. Does she heal here? She does not heal here. We could try to kill her again, but, I mean, I don't really want to do that. I would rather just set her down to 11, and then we just... This is basically the exact same thing that we did last time. And we're making those 50s every goddamn day of the week, you know? Except when we're not, you know? But that's okay. Now, as long as we make this 95%, I don't have anything to complain about, but... I think actually getting Akamanto makes our chances of winning a lot higher. Now, here's the thing. You could probably think to yourself that, okay... If you rest here, that's 3% Doom versus dying and getting 5% Doom, right? And you're right, but we're gonna die anyways. So we just need to make it to Akamanto. Like, right now, it is current objective, get to Akamanto. And you really do not want this guy to hit you. Like, under any circumstance, you really don't want this. You really don't want this guy to hit you. If you get hit by this guy, it's like you lose the run. So let me think about this for a second, right? So this is gonna do 10, so 13. But what if it's just randomly rounded up for no reason? First of all, get the compass out of here. What if this just randomly rounded up again for, like, literally absolutely no reason? You ever think about that? You ever think about, like, what if it's rounded up like that? It literally could just round up like this. Like, it's done it before, where it, like, rounds up to 15 for, like, no reason. But theoretically speaking, this should be doing 10... It should be doing 13, right? But it could be rounding up to 14. It could be rounding up to 15. I don't think I can't throw the monkey wrench, right? I can't throw the monkey wrench, so you just gotta dodge. You just gotta dodge, and then hope for the best, really. Handcuffs would go really unimaginably hard here, but unfortunately, fingers crossed. This is, very frightening. So, we're gonna... Yeah, we just need to get into the Akamanto fight. I think if we get into the Akamanto fight, we have a much higher chance at winning. Now, we do have one particular problem, which I've been a little shy to address, right? Which is, we kind of need to do something here, because this is a little bit not good. A little bit not good. This is a little bit, like, not good. I mean, this will kill. Very, very interesting. I'm actually gonna look at the lighthouse now before I do anything. Charisma, we're good. Light source, -3. And then dexterity, we're good. And knowledge, so we're taking -3, -3, basically. We're taking -3, -3. Please keep that in mind. I'm not crazy, right? Like, we're good. -3, we're good. And then okay, yeah, we're taking -3, -3. So, what I need to do is get some sanity up in here. OMG, final stretch. Would you look at that? It really is. It's look who it is. Now, this is why I wanted to play as Kana with generic perks. Because she, he, they, whatever Kana you decide to roll, or whatever Kana you're headcanoning yourself playing as, because as I will remind you that when you boot up Eerie Episode of Evolving Eels, Kana's gender is randomized. Anyways, I meant to say Kana again, but then I used I used a pronoun, and so now we had to do a little bit of clarification. But yeah, so I wanted to use Kana's perk pack because they get access to Final Stretch way, way faster than literally everyone else, because they only have neutral perks. So you get to level 4, and then you level up, and it's like, oh, I get Final Stretch, +2/+2. That's really broken. And so I can go back to leveling up my stats, and we can level up Strength, which is a good thing, because we have a boss fight to do. We have a yippee boss fight. We do have a yippee boss fight. It's a boss fight moment. And, you know, I'm now just realizing how good of an item... I mean, obviously handcuffs are, like, ridiculously broken, but I'm now just realizing that, like, yeah, handcuffs are absolutely completely overpowered. Like, handcuffs are just, like, ridiculously, insanely strong. And that honestly means that, like, you know, Tome of Rot actually has some value too, even though you can't get it every single run. It does 8 damage to human enemies. That's not that bad. With 2 items in the game, you can essentially do 20 damage to human enemies. Like, that's kind of crazy, you know? I don't know, it was like Tapeworm Salaryman or something? Holy shit, I was correct. I was expecting to get that one wrong. I didn't remember it at all. Alright, let's do it. We have Desperation, we have Tome of Rot, we have a Monkey Wrench that we can throw. This guy's cooked. Now, obviously, saying that, it's like, you know... Now, we could lose the game by using the Tome of Rot, by the way, because the status effect it could give us... I wish I used it fast enough. It can give you Mangled Hand, right? So... you could potentially, depending on how many times you attack, you could potentially die. But yeah, there you go. A Kana run that I did not... I died 5 times. That's... what is that? That's 25 Doom, right? Because it's 5 Doom each death? Damn. I mean, listen, we did a Kana run where we died 5 times, and I just sort of think that it really goes to show, like, here's the thing. World of Horror is a game about resource management, and it's a game about tempo. You have to keep moving forward in the storyline. And whenever you do anything that isn't storyline related, that is increasing your odds of losing, because you only have a certain amount of health. You only have a certain amount of doom, right? So, the more things that you do that are not... that's when you get into the situation where it's like, okay, you're basically delaying your own progress, and everything, and the reason for this is because everything in the game basically gives you a random event or combat, right? Random events are overwhelmingly bad, and combat is overwhelmingly bad in the early game, okay? And for most characters, the entire game. So, what you need to do is you need to... you know, some characters can get so strong that combat becomes a joke. You know, like Haru, Aiko, Ayaka, Mizuki sometimes, Miku, Toshiaki is probably the poster boy of this. Is Toshiaki gets so strong that every combat in the game is a joke to him. And same thing with, like, Ayaka, right? And so then it's just the events, and the events do so much damage, and they do so much doom. There's so many penalties for doing events. And so whenever you have to do something that isn't progressing the story, you are artificially extending how long you're in those mysteries, and also how many, like, events you're having to do, right? And any extra event that you have to do is a horrible detriment to your run, right? Because most of the time, like, overwhelmingly, events are absolute dog shit. Like, some of the best events in the game are the ones that you can click options that do literally nothing. Because if you are going for the story by following the objective, the ring on your screen, right? The ring on your town screen. If you're following that, and you get into an event that does nothing, amazing, because it gave you the benefit of progressing the story, right? So that's just sort of what I'm thinking about when I'm playing this game. And the thing about Kana, and the thing about Book of Gore, why Book of Gore is the best spell in the game, is that it lets you play fearlessly. It doesn't matter how low health you are, it doesn't matter how bad your combat is, it doesn't matter. Because Book of Gore brute forces the game. You can just keep doing investigation after investigation after investigation of combat encounter after combat encounter after combat encounter. Book of Gore, unless you get unlucky and roll Broken Jaw, will basically carry you through the entire game. And if you have a bandage or you have access to the hospital, even rolling Broken Jaw doesn't really matter all that much. So the thing about Kana is that you're spending 5 Doom to have a Book of Gore-like effect where you just fully heal the stat that you died on, and then you just keep going, right? So, if Kana had, like, attack speed or good stats, Kana would be an extremely powerful character, but regardless, Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next episode of It's Look Who It Is. And hey, listen, I did a Kana run where I did not just get Bone Spear or Mind Drain at the beginning of the run and then just steamroll the entire run. I didn't do that. I actually bought a weapon, and I tried to play the game properly. And I would say that Kana, because Kana allows you to do such risky things with basically no penalty, the camera is, like, probably... Like, here's the thing. I know the walk community hates dodge, and I know the walk community is, like, kind of... I actually don't know how the walk community feels about the new camera, because I don't really, you know, walk in those circles anymore outside of my own bubble, right? But I think camera's goated. I really think camera is ridiculously broken. Like, I think camera is completely overpowered because it gives you plus 10 accuracy every time you use it. It's a B-slot item. There are barely any good B-slot items at all. There's very few good B-slot items. And then it gives you plus 10 accuracy every single time you use it. It stacks. And the reality of the situation is that most characters don't have amazing combat. So the camera sort of, like, lets them scale naturally throughout combat. But anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye. Stay safe out there.